Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jaco. Behind the camera is Damia. I've been around for a long time in this trade, and that means I've been through a lot of workshop changes, and every single time it becomes more refined. This workshop is for my shop, so a lot of this is focused around retail sizings. I've got watch batteries and all kinds of things like that. I'm going to give you a little glimpse of how I've created this. It's formed around your own brain and around your own personal space. Let me show you what we've done, and it's been a lot of work, so let me show you. When it comes down to polishing, I've created a little table just for the polishing machine itself. It has extraction points and it has a filter system where the dust goes through. Typically people put these machines in different rooms because they create so much dust in the workshop. With working with tools, you want to try and keep your tools and your surface areas as clean as possible. And this is what's going to fight you. So I've tried to create an area where I have a polishing machine. It's contained, and I've currently got a vacuum cleaner extracting whatever comes out of the extraction points. I've built it in such a way that it's just for this purpose, and then I'm using this top area right here for my ultrasonic machine. I've always got a little light on over here because often when we bring rings in and you start by cleaning them and a little stone falls out, the light's very handy right here to see where the stone is so you can pick it out there. The machine has a rubber mat where I can put the rings while I'm busy polishing as I'm going along. I tend to do these things in batches, it just saves a bit of time. I've set up a little IKEA unit with some of the tapes and everything I need for the polishing area. I've got some of the chemicals right here, my pickling solution. Everything is contained in a little watertight container so it's not going to drip. So I can go straight from here into the ultrasonic, and then right behind me is where I have a steam cleaner. So to finish the product off, I'm going to come back to this at some point because this table is busy evolving in a way. It'll even be better if I put a little curtain over here, to be honest. I'm right next to a window here as well, which means that my extraction in summertime when it's nice and warm can just open up. One of the other areas that you're going to need when you are putting jewelry together, something that has a rock solid structure. I've built these myself and I've put them together in such a way that I know that I can put a lot of pressure on top of these discs. I've custom built this to fit into the walls here as well because I'm looking for maximum space that I can use. Now a flat table like this, anything that gets mounted to it, if you've got a really sturdy base, will perform better. If you've got something that like a bending tool like this or your ring stretchers, this is exactly what you're using this kind of thing for. I've got my disc cutter, and when I do my punching, that all happens on this desk right here. So when I started off, I did a lot of the things like this on the floor, and it makes sense, possibly because I was much younger. If you want to get efficiency out of your workshop, you need a space for things like this to be mounted. All my small brushes, all my small little drills and everything goes into these storage areas over here. I've got my watch batteries right there, and I've got a grinder at the end there as well when it comes down to customizing the tools or sharpening some gravers. An absolute necessity in my books. And the other bonus is we can get some packing space underneath it. I've got my fire extinguisher mounted right there, so it's nice and accessible if anything should break out. Mainly the purpose of this is a very sturdy table so that when you're working on it, when we're hammering on it, it will take the punch. The rolling mill or the roller is probably one of the first tools you're going to need to get your hands on. This is an old friend of mine. I'm completely comfortable with it. When you're thinking about buying a rolling mill in the beginning of your journey, I would suggest try and save up for something that is going to last, because these are meant to last your entire career. This has been mounted on a stand which I had in my previous workshop. I've been yearning to put it into the ground. I thought about giving it its own little space this time around. It's in the middle of the workshop. Can't consider just the roller itself, just takes up that much space, but you've got to consider the space that you need around it. So it has this motion that you need space for. This particular stand's got a nice housing unit, a little lockable door. Because it's something that has weight and something that I need to have really sturdy, I've added all my heavy steel plates and punches in these little cupboards. The whole unit's got a lot of strength, and I've also mounted that into the ground, and I often use that to draw a bit of wire as well. First of all, the part that you're going to be facing, the system that I'm using is the GRS Benchmate system, where you have bench pegs and other accessories like cutting boards, soldering, vices. Everything will clip to this area, so I'm continuously working right in front of me, so I didn't need extra space over there for soldering. I get a lot of questions about these, and I suppose we can try and find a link that we can put into our description. This is a Durston bench. I've put a sort of magnet in front of me. These aren't the only files I use. These are the most popular files that I use, the ones I reach for most often. Then I have a drawer full of other files. A little stand for the pliers They also, over the years, you come to realize that there's more important and less important pliers. So the ones I use most often are the ones on my desk. My microscope over here is mounted to the side of my desk, and I can just push that aside and it's out of the way. And if I did want to set, or I've got something that I want to do on the microscope,
like engraving as well, hey?
Yeah, I would just simply take this and maybe add an extension to that and then place my vise over there. So everything from engraving to set work to manufacturing happens right in front of me, and that's the way I prefer it. I'm using a little Smith torch. The torch is called, I think, the little Smith torch, or the little torch. We do a lot of platinum work, and this little guy actually reaches to the temperature that you need. It's not going to help you with casting big volumes. For that, you're going to need something else, something bigger. I'm using propane and oxygen, not acetylene. I know that that's a finer gas and it will do better higher temperatures, but it's not necessary for my application anyway. The hanging motors or flexible shafts, or as they call them in the UK, pendant motors. One micromotor as well, which is also Fordham. A micromotor is actually something I use mainly for set work. At the same time, since it's right in front of me and I've taken my setting bench and I've taken my workbench into one thing, I've been using it more frequently.
Then at the bottom there you've got all of those pedals, it looks like.
I mounted all my pedals in one place, because if you don't mount them, they keep moving around, and then it becomes this thing where you're looking for them, a little river dance underneath your table to try and find where your pedal is, and then you're stepping on 3 of the different ones before you get to the right one that you're actually holding. So to simplify these things, I put them on a block of wood, which is sensible because they come with little screw points that you can actually mount them. I suppose that's what you're supposed to do with it. I use a Lindsay air graver, the classic. You use the air graver for engraving, and I'm also using the air graver for set work. Different heads, we can go into a whole new video on engraving and setting. I'm happy to do so. If you guys want it, let us know in the comments. When it comes down to storing your hammers, I found this concept online somewhere, and I built myself a little hammer rack, which is great because there's a little space between my desk and the wall, which this slides in. So in a way I can just pull it out, grab a hammer and push it back in, and it's all about convenience. That's my workshop, perfect for me for what I'm doing at the moment, but it might not be perfect for me next week. And I like the way that they age, I like the way that they get texture, I like the way things move around and find a perfect place where they settle. It's a very personal thing. By sharing it, I hope that you guys get an insight of what happens in our world, everything that I need to make my jewelry, the stuff you guys see on Instagram. All of this stuff gets made in this tiny little workshop that you saw right here. If there's something you pick up over here that can make your job easier, better, if there's an idea, let us know in the comments. Lovely to speak to you guys. Nice to see you again.
We'll see you next week.
We will see you next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Look, I've got the scars right there on both sides. Yeah, it's even the same hand, same finger.
Oh my God.
We are becoming one. So when it comes down to your work, this is where you're going to spend most of your time. We're going to be sitting down staring at a bench peg for the rest of your life. Every little answer gets answered. Every little question gets answered.
Quench? How many Fordham motors do you need, Dad? You know?
I would like more, but I can't afford them.